going to be filming this from the top down so that I can put it up on YouTube. So this is going to be a technical challenge, so you may see some wobbling. I haven't really kind of gotten this 100% worked out yet. I don't feel as though I'm really close enough to my work board here, but I can't get my overhead camera any closer, and I don't have any lighting for this right here. So, all right, let's see what we're doing. Of course, quilling demos are a lot different than painting demos because quilling is notoriously slow. So I don't expect this to be very exciting for you, but maybe for some people who are interested in learning about the process behind it. I'm just turning the heater off in here because I'm having hot flashes. Maybe people who are interested in the process can see how it works and, you know, just get a sense of the tools and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna wiggle this camera just slightly here because I'm gonna put a roll of paper towels to kind of, oh, the cat has radar. Every time I am in this room, she's like, oh, there's mommy. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start. This may or not work. I'm gonna try to give it about an hour, or at least a half an hour, because my video camera will actually go for 30 minutes. So what you're seeing here is a cutout of a monogram. It's a letter P, and there's a black lab next to it. I got these from Cricut Design Space. It's a nice way to get general shapes. I'm gonna go in and make the Labrador detailed, but as far as the monogram templates are concerned, you can't go wrong. If you're doing monograms and you've got a Cricut, or I keep threatening to offer this on my Etsy shop too, but to have someone go in and print you or cut you out these monogram templates is invaluable, because you have this nice lip right here to butt your paper up against. So you don't end up with wavy lines, you end up with this nice straight, see how it catches right there? You end up with these really nice straight lines, everything's perfect. You can build outside and then around it. I have developed a recent affinity for 10 millimeter wide paper. It's very, very, very wide. Almost double the width of the 1/4 inch paper that I typically used. Trouble is, I can't get it in anything other than bulk packs, and don't get me started. This company, Julia, is the one who sells this, and it's like, oh, I love it so much, and I want to buy all the individual colors, but I can't. You have to buy all the stinking colors. So then you end up with 30 bazillion strips of pink or 50 million strips of purple, which I just don't use very often. Now, this tool pack has a slotted tool that actually will do up to a 1/2 inch, which is really cool. So then you can get this ultra wide paper. Now this is just maybe a hair's width wider than a 3/8 inch paper, and you can get the 3/8 inch paper pretty readily on like quilling.com and Quilled Creations. I'm not sure if Little Circles does the 3/8 inch on a regular basis or not, but I know she does cut custom for me, because she's done like 1.5 inch, 2 inch strips for me when I did the Ulta Beauty project. This is a fine slotted tool. I'm not going to use that one. I'm going straight for this big bubba right there. Look at that. This slot is super deep. This is 3/8 or 10 millimeters, so it's a little bit wider than 3/8, and it fits all the way in. So you don't end up with this kind of weird gapping on the outside edge, which you do sometimes when you get a quilling tool that is shorter than the width of your paper. And I have bought a second set of these because I am the destroyer of all quilling tools, and I went ahead and I dropped it, and I found it after Christmas and it was bent at a 90-degree angle, and I was like, oh, that's lovely. So anyways, back to this. This is an 8 by 10. I have this on a 300-pound cardstock, or 300 GSM cardstock. It's incredibly rigid. I will actually link you guys where to get this. It is nice and bright white. and it holds up really well to buckling, warping, and excessive glue usage, which I'm notorious for. It's nice and smooth. It grabs the glue well. I can't rave enough about it, and you can get a whole ream of like 500 sheets of this, and it's 8.5 by 11. So you got to cut that 1/2 inch off each side, or 1 inch on one side and 1/2 inch on the other every time you use it, but it's well worth it if you get like one of those Fiskars 12-inch paper cutters. This cardstock paper is a substitute, in my opinion, for the fiber-infused artboard. The fiber-infused artboard, you can't penetrate it with water. This is about the best I've seen or bought, and it's the cheapest. I mean, like I said, I'll find the link to it. It was super duper duper cheap, and I have 500 sheets of it, which is amazing. This is the Cricut textured cardstock here, and if you've used Cricut cardstock, you'll know why I rave about it, because it has this beautiful cloth-like linen texture. It's beautiful. It's got a tooth to it. It does not glue super easily. You kind of have to hold it and frig with it. And the Labrador Retriever was done with this as well. And just so you know, I purchased the commercial license, so it's not as though I didn't buy it on a regular license. I got the commercial one because I'm a good girl. So for the colors that I'm going to use tonight, this is the woman's request, was that it was like my O that I had done back when I was for Christmas, and it was blues and golds. So I've got a nice beigey color here. It highlights nicely with this kind of egg yolk yellow. This is white. The Julia white, I will tell you, is not super duper bright white. It's like a winter white. I've got some nice rigid cardstock strips that I cut myself with my Cricut. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them or not, but I have them just in case. And I've got a bunch of blues. This is kind of an aqua or teal blue, which I really don't like, but I do like this lighter blue here. We'll probably use that one. This is Craft Harbor Precision Cut paper, and it's 3/8 inch, so it's not going to be exactly the same width, but you're not going to be able to tell because I'll blend it in. And this is a pearlized gold strip. So she had said gold, so I figured even though it's kind of beigey, it's very shimmery. So I mean, it might look pretty. Who knows? We may not use it, we might. Again, I have the Safe Harbor. This is it's a cream color paper in the 3/8 inch, but it's got real gold gilding on the top. So I'm going to definitely use this. I'm pretty excited to have scoffed all these up for little to nothing. And I've got some gold gilded colored paper here, and I did notice there was some blues. I thought this would be a nice highlight color to do with like a dark blue with the gold gilding. It may or may not work. Who knows? And let's see here. I've got more of this. This is the Julia paper. More of that. I actually have an actual cream that I'm using. It's a very light cream. There's more of that beige. Let's see, I think more of the same yellows there. And then I've got a couple other shades of yellow just in case it needs something to pop. And let's see, oops, I've got a really nice, kind of like a cobalt blue in the 10mm. This is the Julia paper. And then I've got a super dark navy in the 10mm Julia. And let's see, and then I also have this, I would say like a medium blue, like a, I don't know what you'd describe it as, but you know, like a, I don't know, boardwalk blue, who the heck knows? You'd call it whatever you want to call it. But this is a nice medium blue that I thought would be nice, and it's the cardstock. I'm actually going to do the outline with this because it's a cardstock, and I like outlining with cardstock as opposed to the regular paper because it's just so much more rigid, and it holds that straight line so much better. So I've cut all kinds of this out. This is the Cricut textured paper. You can't see it on the camera, but it's got this beautiful, maybe I'll zoom in. It's got this beautiful linen look to it. So those are the primary colors I'm going to be using. Oh, and here's another dark navy, but it's not quite as dark as that one. As you can see, I have hardly any left because this is literally the only color I use this Christmas, and I can't buy it separately. So I got to figure out a solution for the whole blue thing, or individual colors. We'll figure it out. I might buy a big pack of paper somewhere and just start cutting myself. I don't know. So I'm going to save these out, the blue strips, because that's what we're going to start with. And I'm going to do the outline with that. There we go. I'm not going to touch the dog tonight. I'm probably going to leave that for my next live quilling demo session. And like I said, I know this is going to be dull, so I'm not going to be watching like, oh look, hi Linda, out with Victoria. If you get bored, I totally get it. I know, don't feel compelled to watch. This is just because I don't think that there's enough people doing live quilling demos. I have, you know, there's a lot of tutorials, but tutorials are kind of specific to one thing, and I think it's important to have, you know, just sit down and watch a person who does this, go through it from start to finish. You may pick up little things. It may just be interesting to watch. Who knows? Anyways, well, maybe I will start with the dog. Let's start with the dog. I've got a bunch of black here. And the reason I decided to change course there is because I thought about something different that I was going to do with the pink. And I don't know if I was prepared for it this very moment or not. Or maybe I'll do some outlining and we'll go back. This is the cardstock from Cricut. Another supply that I use is this, it's a brush wash. It's actually a kid's brush wash. It's got 2 chambers. I fill one chamber with water and I keep a paintbrush in it. And then I fill the other one with sponges. And when I use my needle bottle, which I've lost since Christmas, it's gone missing, I keep them at the top here to keep it moist. And these are like $8 on Amazon. So that's my other tool, and I use Elmer's Glue All. Yippity skippity. I also use this painter's tape here, and the reason for it is because I like to put glue down like this in a puddle so I can use it, and then I can just tear it and throw it away afterwards. So, and I'm not an expert at this. This is just obviously a hobby, but it's a fun hobby. I think it's a paper craft is just cheap. You can't go wrong. You can spend a ton of money on it, but you don't have to. You know, there's ways around that expense. It's called restraint. Something I do not have. So I'm going to assume that you can see what I'm doing here. Cardstock doesn't like to shape as nicely as regular strips because it's thicker and it's got more fiber. So I'm just going to gently coaxing it into a curve here to fit around the dog's head. I'm going to line it up to the dog's head right here because this is where it kind of creates an angle, and I want to start working along here because this is an easier section. And what I do is I like to take my paper and I just like to kind of tap it into the glue. I'm assuming you can see this. Like that. And then, excuse me, my husband cooks supper, and for some reason I get, I have to clear my throat when I have too many carbohydrates in my system. It's been a very decadent Christmas. My mother got me an entire bag of Labrador truffles, and last night, in a moment of weakness, I ate every single one of them. My dog kept hounding at me to get up to get treats, and on like the 5th trip at like 1 o'clock in the morning, as he's waking me up to go get him his wild frickin' weenies, I decided to get myself some wild weenies of the human variety. So what I'm doing here is I have the cardstock pressed up against the edge of this cutout, and I'm just using my paintbrush to go here and just really gently and lightly paint glue. I do this because A, it helps it dry quicker, and B, it helps it fade so it doesn't, you don't end up with glue globs. and B, it's a more precise method of getting the glue down without getting it everywhere else. Now, it does take considerable more time if you do it this way. I think that I just needed an escape from the coonhound tonight, and I was like, oh, I'll go in here and take all kinds of time quilling. No, I'm just joking. I love my dog. Actually, I just weird about glue globs. I just would rather see precision gluing than I've seen literally the most gorgeous quilled work. Like there was this piece that this woman did, and it was these cranes on a in the water, up in the water's edge, with these pebbles all around it. It was one of the most stunning pieces of quilled artwork I've ever seen in my life. But when you look at it up close, it looked like Shrek had a bad case of the coronavirus and had hawked loogies all over it. It was just this mess, and I was like, and that's why. It's like, so it's so easy to ruin something that's so beautiful by just being careless with the glue. Now, here's another tip here in case you're wondering. When you use these template type things, you press up against the side of it, and that gives you a nice tight seal. Sometimes if I notice that it's gapping a little bit, I'll take my paintbrush like this. I don't know if you can even see this. And I'll just kind of press up against it and just kind of rub gently just to coax it back into place. And that's what I just did right there. I noticed there was a little tiny gap right there. And once it was done, you probably wouldn't have been able to see it anyways. I can see it now. So I just come up here and I just kind of push against it just to kind of reseal that. And it should work. Now up to the end of the tail right here, what I want to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut this off. I like to always try to leave a little bit of extra space in case I have to cut it. It's always easier to cut it a little long and then have to snip a little off than it is to take the chance that you snip it off too short. And because the ends of this are going to be finicky, they're going to bounce out more easily off the edge of the template. I'm going to kind of spend more time gluing it. I'm going to test it to see how well it's holding, and then sometimes I might come in here with my quilling tool and hold it like that, and then I might give it some glue on the back side, as you know, just to ensure that bond. So we're going to just hold it here for a few extra seconds to make sure we have a tight seal there. There we go. And this is why quilling is probably not as exciting to watch as paint pouring. This would be more like watching paint dry. But I guess that if you like quilling, you have to love all of it. And I like all these little meticulous aspects of it because I get to micromanage the paper. I'm like, you do what I want right now. So anyways, so now we've gotten the outline of this body here. The tail is going to be more challenging because I have this really tight bend. So what I like to do is take my paintbrush and hold it here right at the edge of the tail. And what I'm going to do is just kind of bend around the paintbrush. Why? Because that gives me roughly the same curve that I'm looking for, and it gives me a rounded edge to work on, as opposed to use my fingers to kind of put pressure and bend it, which will inevitably cause like a bend, like a hard angled bend. This gives me a rounder look, and if you notice that on the tail here, it's a rounder tail. Now, you can go in here and just kind of play with it a little bit and shape it up, you know, to make it look better. The one thing that I forgot to bring with me tonight are my tweezers. I don't even know if I'll ever be able to find my tweezers again because the Christmas bomb was pretty disruptive. I'm gonna go ahead and take this guy and see how it fits. it actually came out really good. That really curved it almost exactly the way it needed to be curved. Now what's going to happen down here is when I hit the bottom of its foot, I'm going to have to get a harder curve there. I don't like to bend cardstock at 45 anything more than 45 degrees unless it's a complete 90 degree, just because it tends to buckle. So what I'm going to do is slide this tail in like this. I'm going to get kind of a visual measurement right here of where the end of that tail is, and I'm going to snip it. But I'm going to snip it a little bit long because I can always come back in here and just take a little tiny bit more off. There we go. All right, we're cooking. Now what I'm doing is I'm standing up because I can't see from the angle that I'm sitting what this looks like from above. So I want to make sure it's got a nice tight fit. So if my hair dangles down into the camera, I apologize. I think the bigger, all right, there we go. So it looks to me as though this is going to be about a millimeter too long. So I'm going to go ahead and do this fun thing that quilling expects you to do, and I'm going to snip about half a millimeter off. Okay, and then I'm going to go and refit this. Now it's tedious, I get it, but here's the thing. When finished carpenters are working, they don't like say, well, yeah, that looks good, we're going to eyeball it and call that good. They actually go in there and they measure this down to like the 1/32 of an inch, because they know that there's going to be, that people will notice. And we don't want people to notice. One thing I think I might do is switch the camera. I know that this is going to wiggle around for just a second. We're not having an earthquake in Maine. We're just having a repositioning of the camera thing. And the reason for this is because I have a table on a table. Don't ask why. It was meant to help level paintings. It did not work properly. And it's the table and the table issue. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and slide this in further here. You're going to be looking at other things for a moment. I wonder why that won't go in any further. Oh, there we go. Okay, almost done. Almost done. This is going to keep it from bouncing every time I move, which is driving me insane. All right, I'm going to swing it back over here. There you go. And now I can put my hands on the table and it only bounces it slightly. Okay, so back to this weird thing where you can just haphazardly snip things off and say, oh, I can make up for the difference. But if you want things to look really precise, and I am of that mind, I like to make sure that everything is done and everything lines up really nicely. So I'll go in there and I will mess around with that last little millimeter or half a millimeter. But some people that won't, and I understand, it makes it hard. It's one of these art forms where, you know, sometimes you just like, wow, how many hours can I invest in this? You know, I get it. Okay, so I've tapped a little bit of glue on here. I'm gonna slide him up this way. And I'm feeling at a loss because I'm missing my tweezers, but normally I would use my tweezers to place this. Here we go. I'm gonna get my trusty little paintbrush out to knock off these little glue boogers there. Make it all look nice, and then I'm gonna slide this guy up here. And it should have an exact fit. I'm gonna go ahead and press all around the edges. I'm gonna clear up that little glue blob right there. That looks good there. Press down on that side. Oopsie. I'm going to stand up again here. There we go. Okay. It does look like I've got a little tiny gap right here, but it's not. It's on the interior, and it's something that I notice, and I don't think anybody else will notice it So we're going to call that good. I am going to try to get the tail shaped a little bit better. There we go. Okay, there. It's all nice and tight except for this little section here. But that's going to be covered by interior design. So that'll be good. All right. So now my choice is, do I want to keep building down around here, or do I want to demo a little bit of the, some scroll work? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to build a couple of scrolls. We're going to do like a gold scroll. I'm trying to think that how I actually want to do this, but I'm thinking I might want to pull down from here and kind of come around the stem of the pea. I think that will look really nice. So I may take a scroll and kind of do around there and then build the outline around it and so on and so forth. I've also got this really nice kind of coppery color. So we'll go ahead, I'll snap off some of the copper. I think we're going to do like a 6-strip scroll. Do that one. We'll do this kind of beigey color. And of course the gold, this gorgeous gold. So pretty. There's that. And are we gonna go with any other colors there? No. We'll do these 3. These are nice, a nice mix right here. I'm gonna cut them in half so they end up creating 6 strips for the scroll. This is regular weight quilling paper, by the way. It's not cardstock, because I'm going to build the scroll work out of this. It's a lot easier to build this than the cardstock because it bends easier and it doesn't tend to buckle. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait until the pandemic is under control. I really want to get back into, you know, doing some live demonstrations. I'd like to do some classes. My husband and I talked about putting a little studio in the spring or summer so that we had a place to do things. Like, he wants to put a little woodworking studio downstairs and I would like to put a little art studio upstairs. That's kind of what I would like to do. And then I thought about doing like I would love to do on-site stuff, you know, have people come over and we can check out different art types. I have a burning desire to learn how to do watercolors. I've never done watercolors. All right, what I'm doing here is I am staggering the ends of this. You don't have to, it's the technique that I created and I like to use, and I like to make them all kind of fairly even and straight. It's kind of an OCD thing. There we go. Okay, so all of these are staggered. So we've got 2 of the brown, 2 of the gold, and 2 of the beige. And that's going to be where I begin my scroll head. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of tap them into the glue here. And I don't normally get that messy with it, but I don't have my little glue bottle. Oh, you know what? It's actually, I do have little glue bottles. They're in the mailbox. I forgot that I had all kinds of Amazon stuff show up, but we had not gone down to get it. I was really busy today. I cleaned this room out and I did a bunch of, what did I do? I feel like I worked all day. Oh, I got a bunch of boxes picked out. I sorted through all kinds of art stuff. I got rid of a bunch of old frames. I did a frame inventory. I ordered in supplies for the next several commissions that I have going. And just to give you a list, I've got an angel cat, this monogram, I've got 2 triple cats, I've got a double cat, and oh, the roaring lion. That's what came today. The stuff for the roaring lion. I had to order in from Dick Blick to get the fiber infused artboard because it's going to be a big 12 by 12 piece. All right, so if you're watching, you're getting a free demo on how to make my scroll work. I have a glueless method too. I just like if I'm taking the extra time, I might as well just go ahead and glue it. So now that they're all glued and they're dried, I've wiped it off. It's nice and it's dry to the touch. I had to restart the video camera from above. All right, so I'm gonna pull this over here so you can kind of see it better. Or from a better angle, I guess we should say here. Okay. I'm gonna tip it this way. So, what I did was I created a scroll to kind of fit in this area. Now what I'm going to do is because I want to make this, it's a monogram, I want to outline this P. I'm actually going to make a little L shaped in the blue, which will help set the corner of this. And it will look like the scroll is part of interiorly and exteriorly of the P. I think it kind of gives it a fancier look. I'm not going to glue this down right now, and the reason for that is because I may change my mind later. For all I know, I might get working on this and be like, whoa, it works better like this. Look at that. That's, I like that way better. Who knows? But I built this scroll that I plan to use here, and that's what I think I'm going to do. I actually kind of like it like that. I like it because I can actually cover the bottom with the paper, and then this kind of gets right into the groove right here of the P. I kind of like that positioning better. Now this is why I don't glue things down, because I change my mind later. So we got to make sure that we like what we're doing, and then we can glue it. You can always glue later. With my scrollwork hats, the only thing that I glue down initially are the ears. I glue the ears, and then everything else is loose and dry fit until the end, when I have kind of the whole central body portion built. I'm like, oh, that looks good like that. That definitely works. All these pieces that interconnect with it are gonna be perfect right there. So I will glue this down. So I don't glue into the end, except for the tail. I glue the whole tail going up. All right, let's go ahead and do a blue scroll. I feel like I should have brought a reference photo of the P that I did, but oh well. So this is the dark blue, the super duper dark blue. The really brilliant blue. And we got the light blue too. I suppose. I'm not really sure whether I want to do that one or not. But maybe what we'll do is, maybe I will outline with this. We'll save that, because we have less of that. Let's go ahead and do these three colors here. This is like a dark, medium, and a light blue. Can you see this? We'll do that. I'm going to go for about 25 more minutes, and then I'm gonna hang it up until tomorrow. I might do some more tomorrow night, who knows. I've definitely got to figure out how to situate this room, because this is not the best way to do it. But I really wanted to have my goal. I just wanted to have my overhead camera. It's very difficult to do the overhead camera and the live view. If you saw the position my body was in, you'd be like, oh, that's hilarious. I'm actually like leaning across the table by a good 2 feet. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I've got the dark, medium, and light blues, and I'm gonna go ahead and just cut them in two. So I've stacked them. I'm gonna go ahead and snip it. Later on today, I'm also going to go on a manhunt for my tweezers. Probably what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to buy new ones, because that's typically how everything works. I can't find it, I can't find it, I can't find it. I buy a new one, and then all of a sudden the other ones pop up. I can't tell you how many tweezers we've got in this house. Over a Thanksgiving break, I went through and I cleaned the whole house, head to toe. And I was like, I'm going to find these stinking tweezers. I literally found like 11 or 12 pairs of tweezers. Not quilling or crafting tweezers, but plucking my eyebrows tweezers. I'm talking about those kind of tweezers. They were everywhere, but you never can find them when you want them. All right, so I've got this down. I got to the light, to the medium, to the dark. It's just, you know, it's graduated light, dark to light, and the light will be in the interior of the coil, kind of like I did here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and stagger the ends. So I'm just going to pull this. I don't know if you can see this. See how I'm pulling it down? See if I can get it to refocus there. Pull the ends down by roughly 1 millimeter or 2. Like that. Until they're all spread out by literally the exact same distance. Here we go. See that? I'm going to go ahead and smash them in the glue over here, because I wouldn't recommend that. I usually take the needle nose glue and I just kind of gently put it on it, but I can't find it. And what I like to do is I like to take my fingers and kind of strip off the glue. A, it dries it, and B, it tells me when it's tacky, you know, not tacky, so I can go ahead and work with it. And C, it thins it out so that I don't have globby glue boogers everywhere. And at this point, I can feel that it's dry. It's mostly dry. I can still feel a tiny bit. Oops, you know what? I just noticed that that little end one hadn't caught, so we're going to go ahead and just tap that on there. It tells me when I can start working with it. Nice and dry. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of pre-bend it. I don't want to tax the paper, and I'm just going to kind of bend this down too. I didn't pre-soften these strips. I typically don't. All right, so same process. I'm going to catch the lip of this end piece, and I'm just gonna roll it. Now, like I said, this tool is a little different than my Savvy sled tool. All right, so I have to kind of tackle it differently. I'm gonna go ahead and, did I just get paint all through this? Look at that. Look at all the paint I got on this. I have to kind of let this dry a little bit. You see that mess I made? All right, let's go ahead and keep making this coil. I'm going all the way to the very end here, although I'm going to have to cut a little bit of that off because I got some paint on it. I'm not paint. I have paint in the brain. Got glue on it. I'm going to keep going there. Okay, now I'm at the very end. I'm holding this briefly because I want it to hold in shape. I don't want it to just spring out of shape the second my fingers release tension. Okay? It's kind of like a curling iron when you're doing your hair. If you curl your hair around the barrel and then you immediately release it, you get a little bit of wave, but not much. But if you really hold it there, it holds the wave much better. So, same concept. And again, I don't want to just let the whole thing go. I'm gonna slide my quilling tool out, and I have a hold of this whole unit here, and I'm gonna make sure I've got all 6 strips firmly in my grasp, and then I'm gonna let it release. And again, you've got this gorgeous golden ratio that's created. Perfect. And same deal, I'm going to make an S scroll out of this by tipping or rolling the very end of this into the opposite direction to create this S shape. In this case, it's a backward, but they're forward. Okay. Same process. This one has a little bit more curl than I was anticipating, so I'm just gonna do this to slightly straighten this out to make it more C-shaped and less round. I don't know whether I'm hearing the dog barking or the cat snoring. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to separate these strands. I'm going to go ahead and take, I don't know what is that noise. I'm going to go ahead and pull that inner one in. Oh, it's the dog. It is the dog. It's, you know, it's like if you hear a noise in this household, it's usually the dog. He's a dog of many volumes, mostly max volume. There we go. And then I had this last little one. You can see that one move. These aren't spread out quite as nicely as I'd like, so, but when you do the S portion, it actually will alter slightly how these are spread out. So I'm not going to really worry about it. And you know, you have to pick your battles when you're quilling. You got to pick your quilling battles. So again, these are all spread out by at least 10 millimeters, or I'm going to say even 3/4 of an inch. They're quite hefty. So, and this is the shortest one right here. I want to cut them all off fairly close to this, building them out by about 1 millimeter each. And that helps to, it helps me make the S, the back bend of the S, because I can't catch all these lips. So we're going to grab this one, we're going to go down here, and we're just going to back off about 1 millimeter. I'm going to back off this one about 1 millimeter. That one. That one, and then this is my end one, so I don't want to do too much, but I want to do more. I want to do about 3 millimeters on that one. See how it's longer? Okay, so again, don't let go of these. Don't let go of them. It's kind of like holding the pin on a grenade. Don't drop it. I'm just going to slide my fingers down until I get a nice pinch at the end here, and then I might even go a little bit further. I like to use my finger here as kind of a guide so that nothing gets bent around. I'm going to go ahead and slide my tool in, and I'm rolling down, and as I'm doing it, I'm making sure that I go slow and catch all of those little ends. I'm going to go ahead, and I have made the S here. And you can just go ahead and let that spring out. This has got a little bit of a bend in it, so I'm just going to shape it slightly. And we have a beautiful S-shaped scroll that pretty much kept the separation. Like I said, sometimes I get all obsessive, sometimes I don't. So now I've got I've got a blue scroll that I can add to this. Not entirely certain what I want to do with it, but I do think that that positioning may be appealing to me there. Okay, there. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm actually going to get this paper here, this dark blue color. This is a cricket, and I'm going to cut that in the cardstock, and that's what I'm going to do the outline with to match it perfectly. I am going to go ahead and keep building scrolls for this. And tomorrow night I'm going to work on details for the dog. I'm going to like build him an ear. We're going to kind of bring this arm up a little bit, and let me see if you can actually see this. We're going to kind of make him glisten a little bit, make him a shiny nose and eyes. And I'm going to finish outlining him. I don't know what I'm going to fill him in with yet, but it's probably, I'm thinking I'm going to do my scrunch technique, which looks like fur. So I'm probably going to do that, but I want to outline his body parts first. I'm going to continue to build scrolls, and then we're going to fill this in tomorrow night. So because my camera, I'm at 13 minutes, so I'm at 45 minutes now. I don't want to like totally put everyone to sleep. It is Saturday after all. I'm going to end this now, and this will be my first quilling demo for quite some time. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just build out all these live, because I think it gives people a good sense of what to do, you know, little techniques, little tips and tricks, and it's kind of fun too. So I'm going to bring this over here and just show you 45 minutes, and all I really got done was 2 scrolls and part of an outline of the dog. And now you know why quilling is a lost art. That's why. Because painting, you can just go. Quilling is kind of long and drawn out and tedious. Now also tomorrow night I'm going to make some C scrolls. These are S scrolls. I'm going to build out some C scrolls. We're going to figure it out. I might also do some really, like a real big bulky scroll to go up in here, and then I might bring it around to actually follow this whole edge. We'll see. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll probably be back on tomorrow night, or if not, at least next weekend. I'm gonna try to do this once a week. But it was nice seeing y'all, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.